Welcome to Talking Politics. I am Paul Gable. I'm here with my good friend and co-host John Bond Sr. And we're back for our second show with Congressman John Jenrette. There's too much to talk about with John to compress it all into 23 minutes. So we decided to do two shows, and we're here back with part two. We'll be back in a moment.
My name is Angelo Antonucci, and I'd like to welcome you to my restaurant. I've been in Myrtle Beach now for over 30 years, and we are the home of the greatest steaks in the universe.
Here at Angelo's, we have a fantastic Italian buffet with your favorite pastas served with meatballs and sausage and delicious gourmet pizzas. But where we really shine is our entrees like our Scampi Traditional, Alfredo or Lemon Romano served over linguine, our French pork chops with garlic mashed potatoes, and our twin fillets featuring our signature Marsala sauce. It's a great place to enjoy with family and friends, so stop by and see us at our new location at the corner of 24th Avenue South and South Kings Highway.
Don't just take my word for it. Come in and try Angelo's, home of the greatest steaks in the universe.
Here at Angelo's.
Striving for excellence is what we all do. After 10,000 hours of practice and preparation, we become experts at our crafts. Our skills become a manifestation of our talents, and our service becomes sought after.
We are the professionals, taking care of the details. The Professionals, mobile detailing and car cleaning specialist. Taking pride in what we do, so you can take pride in what we do for you.
Let me ask you
According
this
to this book, you had a beautiful little set of hair.
Did the Shah of Iran want to meet you, or did he actually want to meet Rita?
Both.
Oh, he wanted to meet Rita for sure. I mean, but an interesting thing with the Shah of Iran, some of us were there as his guests, and
were you in Iran?
In Iran, we were his guests, and they did not involve in alcohol. We had a few drinks waiting on the party, but when we were waiting on the Shah, they would bring out a plate of block of ice. Oh. And in the little holes in the ice would be vodka or whatever that had, and on the front of the block of ice was the Shah's
seal, coat of arms.
Coat of arms. And I remember everybody was talking, and he was coming in down the road, and one of the people came and looked at me and saw a little piece of ice, water, coming along over his position. He pulled the thing out, ran and got another one for me, just as the Shah was sitting down. Which meant I had alcohol in front of me at that time, because the gentleman did it, but he had to put it back in before the Shah got there, and we got to be friends from that. And then he lost, went out. You remember, everybody knows about what happened, I think, at that time.
The revolution.
But you know, I don't know if I had anything to do with it or not. But his wife, after he died, came to Columbia, South Carolina, bought a place, and spent thousands and thousands and millions of dollars for the University of South Carolina.
I didn't know that.
But it was your friend Jimmy Carter that got him to leave Iran.
Yeah, that's right.
And told him to abdicate.
Yes, yes.
And
we had to leave.
bring the guy from France into Iran and he's the one, the Ayatollah,
Yeah.
that caused all of the problems.
Yep, that was
And
it.
everybody, and that's one of the knocks against Jimmy Carter.
And-
He
and
may
let
have
me
been a
throw
good
another
guy,
little
but,
something
but
in there.
however, he played the wrong cards.
You know, you talk about this now. John was over on trips to be with the Shah, and the Shah was, of course, our, other than Israel, he was our number one, certainly Muslim ally in the area. When the Shah got bounced out in 1979, and they ultimately took the hostages towards the end of 1979, it was another Horry County guy, Lieutenant General Vaught,
Yeah,
who was put in charge of the rescue of those hostages.
that's right.
I mean, you talk about this tiny
is.
little Horry County, South Carolina. Vaught came from Conway, you came from Loris. There ain't 10,000 people today total between those two towns, and yet that's the impact that
great
this
guy.
county has
Oh,
had
he-
on
He was a great guy. Really.
U.S. politics.
Well, how long did it take you to write this book? This is a fascinating book. It's Capital Steps and Missteps. Here's a book here by.
Well, it says the
exploits
wild
of-
and improbable ride of Congressman John Jenrette, and
And-
I guess that's a fair statement, isn't
Let me
it,
tell you,
John?
this
But
book-
before we get into that, let me say one thing. I've neglected mentioning it. I should have mentioned it. On John's card, he has this statement: until you have done something for humanity, you should be ashamed to die. And I think you lived by that when you were there. You tried to help humanity. It wasn't, you weren't in there for just a couple of big oil men or whatever the case may be. You tried to help the average guy when you were in Congress.
That's the only people I really knew. The average guy. Yeah, it's been wonderful that I've had some of the opportunities to help people, and now it's my charge every day, every time I could help. It's been they shared with me their lives when I needed them, and I owe it.
And that's great. That's great. All right, we're going to take another short break. We'll be back to talk more with John.
Striving for excellence is what we all do. After 10,000 hours of practice and preparation, we become experts at our crafts. Our skills become a manifestation of our talents, and our service becomes sought after.
We are the professionals, taking care of the details. The Professionals, mobile detailing and car cleaning specialist. Taking pride in what we do, so you can take pride in what we do for you.
My name is Angelo Antonucci, and I'd like to welcome you to my restaurant. I've been in Myrtle Beach now for over 30 years, and we are the home of the greatest steaks in the universe.
Here at Angelo's, we have a fantastic Italian buffet with your favorite pastas served with meatballs and sausage and delicious gourmet pizzas. But where we really shine is our entrees like our scampi traditional, Alfredo or lemon romano served over linguine, our French pork chops with garlic mashed potatoes, and our twin fillets featuring our signature marsala sauce. It's a great place to enjoy with family and friends, so stop by and see us at our new location at the corner of 24th Avenue South and South Kings Highway.
Don't just take my word for it. Come in and try Angelo's, home of the greatest steaks in the universe.
Here at Angelo's.
Welcome back. We're here at Brothers Grill at 5900 North Kings Highway. We're all enjoying some of the
Look, I
food.
finished my breakfast.
Although I've been running my mouth and haven't
Yeah, but he's so
eaten much, but
fascinating. He
John's
got me
had
nervous.
some.
I kept eating as he was
But
talking. Got me nervous.
we were talking to
When you get
John.
nervous, you eat. So
We
that's
were
what
talking
happened.
to John about his
And I
years
will
in
finish.
Congress. I'd love to get his impression now. The difference between Congress when he was in it, and they were fairly productive Congresses. I mean, you passed a lot of bills and a lot of things got done. today, I'm not sure why we send them up there they work half a week, they come home all the time, they're trying to raise money, they don't pay, they passed 20 bills last year or something like that, legislation. What do you see as the problem today with that government up there, John?
Well, you know, this is probably way out of line, but I believe that what has happened now is the new 30-minute news, 10-minute news every day, every minute, that something else is happening, somebody else, and you talk about Trump and his false work and everything.
The fake news business, he calls it?
Fake news business, yeah. And you got to think now, these guys are sitting there, and all of them got thousands of people that are depending on them, and somebody says something is this way, and 30 minutes later someone else says something else, and they're just so confused about it. And I don't mean they're right, all of them, but so many of them there. And what happens? I've been told that whoever hears about an event very first time, it stays longer than any other time, and that's in some television people have taught me that. So the people that get out first on the statement is the one that's the hardest to get back out of, because they've already worked and they've got everybody thinking about what John Doe said at first, and Frank Smith said something that's different. And I hate to think about that as such a minor thing in it, but that has got them so upset. And you got to understand, I mean, they've got to try to represent and help their people every way they can, and then they've been thrown with all of this stuff.
There's such a partisanship there.
Well, that's
such
what I was
a big
gonna...
divide now in this present.
I mean, John, when you were there,
Republicans
Republicans and Democrats talked to each other.
Oh yeah.
You worked you worked on bills together.
Listen, we were Jack Kemp and I had a 1/4 of the United States Congress, 100 members, and when we were there, we took that and went to Tip O'Neill and told him, "Say, listen, we're 100 people. You're gonna have to change. You're gonna have to do some things." So we did away. We had at that first time, we took away 6 senior members who'd been there over the years and put in new people on it. Not our
that's
people,
when you
but young,
you
older.
changed the chairmanship rules. Instead of being the oldest guy, it was a guy, maybe the guy that was the best suited. But that's a combination. You talking about 100 people? That's a combination of Republicans and Democrats.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, 20. I've had 74, and Kemp had 23, but anyway. And going back,
why don't you look at it now? You can see that they don't get along.
Yeah.
I mean, at least when you were there was a regular order. Tip O'Neill was able to work with the Republicans. The Republicans were able to work with Tip, although the majority was the Democrats. Now, there's an interesting story that I can tell about you, that Tip O'Neill admired you so much that when he was about to retire, he wanted you to be the Speaker of the House. That's how much you were admired. And not only that, but I read somewhere that Jack Kemp from Buffalo, the congressman from Buffalo, said that the way you work with Democrats is go through John Jenrette. Now, is that right, or is that was incorrect?
Well,
now don't be modest. I've got to tell us a story.
Kemp was a very nice Republican.
Okay, well, there you go. See, you have a Democrat.
No, but go ahead. Expand on that, John.
Oh well, I mean, it's we had the power. We had the power to get things done, and I was honored to have a few more members than he did. But we worked together every evening. We'd sit down and talk and try to work it out, and we could. And everybody, we were in the position of getting some of the newer members to come in after the second year even, and it was a thing that you could work like the devil all day about, think about all night, but the next day you could get it solved.
Well, but here's I guess one of the things that you're talking about. You and Jack Kemp could say go have dinner someplace and talk an issue.
Absolutely.
Or a piece of legislation.
You never see that now. You never.
No,
see
because
that now.
what you would have, if you had a Democrat and Republican got photographed and got up on the internet, and the next thing you know, the Republican Party would be drumming out the Republicans because they ain't supposed to talk to Democrats, and the Democrat Party would be doing the same thing to the Democrat because they ain't even supposed to talk. And that's insane. The government doesn't work when they don't talk. All we have to do is look and see, and it doesn't work. I mean, we have a lot of guys now who are excellent at getting elected and don't have a clue how to govern.
Well, Nancy Pelosi's father was in the legislature in Congress. His name was D'Alessandro, and he was from Maryland, Baltimore. And he was able to get along with the Republicans. But Nancy, his daughter, she's completely outside the box. She doesn't want to do anything with respect to Republicans, and they're frightened to do anything because of her leadership.
Well, and
But
let's take it the other way
the
too.
nice thing to do, what he just said is that we're able to break bread or have a breakfast like we're having here at the Brothers Grill, this beautiful breakfast that we're having.
What a nice place.
Here I'm a Republican, he's a Democrat. We're able to talk and break bread. And you see, I finished my meal already, and he's still eating.
Well, like every good Republican, you break bread faster.
No, because the Republicans do the best thing they possibly can.
Eat.
And that's to share their opinions with the public out there. And that's what makes the difference. But however, when you see a Democrat like him that writes a book like this, you got to say, congratulations, it's really a great book.
A quick little statement on not getting together. There's a dining room in the Capitol that not many people know about. It's only available to members. No, you can't take anyone else in there with you. But now it is so bad that if a Republican is sitting in there first, a Democrat won't go in, and vice versa. They will not go in. They won't sit in that room that you're supposed to be able to talk privately and everything. They will not go in that room with it unless it's all Republicans or all Democrats.
That's
Isn't
insane.
that amazing?
It's
Isn't that amazing?
insane.
A beautiful little building, beautiful little place, great food, and there's nothing can be going outside there. You can talk any way you want to. They won't even sit down and talk in that building.
Before we hang it up today, here's your book. You wrote it. It took you about 4 years to write, right?
Yeah.
In this book, what would you say is the most interesting part of this book that people should turn to that page to read?
Well,
I know it's all every page is interesting. I realize that, but is there one particular item in this book?
I think about 280 or something in that area.
280, okay.
It's about the people I see on the street now that I've known all my long time, and they say, "God, I read that book. I didn't know you built a bridge. I didn't know that you were in China. I didn't know that you were doing this. Hell, where have you been?" You know, I've been begging people to know that, and thank goodness that I got that out, understand it. I was blessed to be able to do that, and it's given me some degree of legacy that I didn't have. But I'm blessed to be here, and I hope my grandchildren will be thoughtful and want to do as much in the United States Congress as I have. But I'm blessed, and I thank you two guys for putting up with me.
I thought you mentioned something about John Stapleton.
John Stapleton
from
was
Aiken, South
Hold
Carolina.
that thought. It's time. We'll take one more break, and we'll be back in a moment. We'll let him talk about John Stapleton, and we'll talk a bit more about the book.
My name is Angelo Antonucci, and I'd like to welcome you to my restaurant. I've been in Myrtle Beach now for over 30 years, and we are the home of the greatest steaks in the universe.
Here at Angelo's, we have a fantastic Italian buffet with your favorite pastas served with meatballs and sausage and delicious gourmet pizzas. But where we really shine is our entrees like our scampi traditional, Alfredo or lemon romano served over linguine, our French pork chops with garlic mashed potatoes, and our twin fillets featuring our signature marsala sauce. It's a great place to enjoy with family and friends, so stop by and see us at our new location at the corner of 24th Avenue South and South Kings Highway.
Don't just take my word for it. Come in and try Angelo's, home of the greatest steaks in the universe.
Here at Angelo's.
Striving for excellence is what we all do. After 10,000 hours of practice and preparation, we become experts at our crafts. Our skills become a manifestation of our talents, and our service becomes sought after.
We are the professionals, taking care of the details. The Professionals, mobile detailing and car cleaning specialist, taking pride in what we do so you can take pride in what we do for you.
Welcome back. We've been talking to John about his legislative career, and of course some of his stories when he was in Congress and what have you. Really what we want to talk about now a bit is this newest book that's out on John, Capital Steps and Missteps, and it's by his former chief of staff and another staffer, right? And I know when these books get going, because I got involved with one with General Vaught, it takes a lot longer to write one of these things than you think. And there's a lot of stuff that comes out, and then you edit back and so on and so forth. But just tell us a bit about the process of this book. And you did tell us about what you like best about it. And John brought up about there's a pastor here, I believe.
Minister, yeah, top man, top Methodist in the state of South Carolina that I knew many years ago, about 3 or 4 months ago after he'd read the book, wrote me this letter. And I was scared. What he said.
Did you think maybe you got rung out of the church, John?
It's so important to me that I cried all night. And,
is that right?
Yeah, wow. I did. It was, there was things that I regret in my life a good bit, but he talked about how good things could be and how he appreciated me. In fact, I was head of a church in North Myrtle Beach when he was a minister, and so I hadn't seen him in 15 years or so. We hadn't even talked, but he put this. So I started printing this because if some people, and a lot of them will see this book and see some things that aren't as nice as they thought they should be, but this guy's taking it in and say, listen, this guy can do it, and I'm blessed to know him.
Well, that is not an X-rated book. That's what I would consider a PC book. You can read, anybody could read it.
This
but
is
the
a
most
story.
important thing about it, it's fascinating. Every page is a fascinating read.
And John, I don't think, I mean, yeah, we aren't going to talk about it because I don't think it's that interesting, and many people have talked about AppScan, but that's part of it, and that's included in here.
Oh, yeah.
But this is your legislative life, a compilation of it, and yeah, it's a great read for anybody who's interested in politics, not interested in politics. It's just a great read about one guy. You were a rock star. Then you kind of hit bottom. You came back again, and that's really the American way of life.
The nicest thing you can say about John, the Honorable John, he's a good friend. He's sincere. He means what he says, and if you need help, he's there to help you.
That's true. That is
the nicest thing you can say about it.
That is very true.
I guess one of the nicest things that a member said about me is that, you could have said some things about us in the book, but you didn't. That's true. I mean,
well, that's the mystery. That's the mystery of the book. You don't know what you said in that book.
They all of us have had some problems, and I did never even cross my mind to say anything else that happened.
If I can give you a testimonial, I'll tell you this: the breakfast I just had was really delicious. It was really very, very good at Brothers Grill. Reading this book, there's several pages I read in the book. It's fascinating, it's capturing, and it opens up a new dimension as to government, as presented through the eyes of John Jenrette's 2 staffers. And you want to get a good book? I don't know why this is not on #1 on the New York Times best-selling list, but here it is. I would urge you to pick up a copy, read it, and then send John a note as to what you think about the book.
And as for picking up a copy, it's available on Amazon. And I think there's a chance that we'll have some bookstores in this area that'll be having it in, and you'll be doing some book signings and that kind of thing. That's in the process, right?
I think so.
But Amazon.com, you can
get them now.
Capital Steps and Missteps: The Wild and Probable Ride of Congressman John Jenrette. And when you think about it, just coming from Loris, with a poor kid growing up, coming from Loris, it is an improbable ride to get to Washington, D.C. and sit at the top of the government for a while, John.
Well, I know that I'm going to advertise it on Conservative Voice, and we hope that you have it in the Grand Strand Daily, his book, a copy of the book, and tell people where they can get it and where they can buy it. And it's just a great pleasure
Thank you.
Really, we didn't go through a whole lot with you.
I want to ask you to do one more thing before we close this out, John. To young people who are thinking maybe they would like to get into politics, and this country, our federal government is a mess, in my opinion. What advice would you give them? That's a curveball, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess the nearest thing I've had in my life thinking about that I would dream that I was going to be a congressman, and I would dream that I could do something. And I would say to anyone now, that if you think about something like that, dream about it. But you can't just dream. You've got to work at it. You've got to work and dream and dream and dream to make it happen. But you can do it, and you can do it. If I did it, it can certainly be done by people that are much more intelligent than I am. But it can be done. Dream and live by that dream.
Good advice.
Oh, it's excellent advice, and I think on that note, thank you so much for coming, John. Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to see you. I haven't seen you in a few years now.
Before you hang up, Jay, before we go, Jay, what did you think about this interview, John?
No, I'm very.
Well, be honest. What do you think?
No, listen. You know, I've been going on like a cow and waiting to get say more milk, say something more. So I haven't stopped a bit, have I?
But you're a guy that's been on Meet the Press, and you've been on Capitol Beat or whatever the shows were in those days, and you know, we're trying to have a show here that deals mostly with local and state politics, but to get people interested. And you know, I'm not saying we certainly don't come up to the Meet the Press standards, but did you have fun?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely. That was enjoyable in every way. I really appreciate you guys. And I was trying to think in here with the
Larry Novak. Larry Novak from Meet the Press. Larry Novak can't compare to you. You're much better than Larry Novak, in my opinion, Paul.
Thank you, John.
You're a great guy. Thank you, Jay.
I don't think we have a congressman in Washington that compares to when John Jenrette was there either, so
well,
that's my opinion.
That's what testimonial. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and we'll see you next time.
I mean, that's a democratic way.
The democratic way is somebody can go into a voting booth and do what the hell he wants.
There's no fairness. There is no fairness in the electoral vote.
Striving for excellence is what we all do. After 10,000 hours of practice and preparation, we become experts at our crafts. Our skills become a manifestation of our talents, and our service becomes sought after.
We are the professionals, taking care of the details. The Professionals, mobile detailing and car cleaning specialist. Taking pride in what we do, so you can take pride in what we do for you.
My name is Angelo Antonucci, and I'd like to welcome you to my restaurant. I've been in Myrtle Beach now for over 30 years, and we are the home of the greatest steaks in the universe.
Here at Angelo's, we have a fantastic Italian buffet with your favorite pastas served with meatballs and sausage and delicious gourmet pizzas. But where we really shine is our entrees like our scampi traditional, Alfredo or lemon romano served over linguine, our French pork chops with garlic mashed potatoes, and our twin fillets featuring our signature marsala sauce. It's a great place to enjoy with family and friends, so stop by and see us at our new location at the corner of 24th Avenue South and South Kings Highway.
Don't just take my word for it. Come in and try Angelo's, home of the greatest steaks in the universe.
Here at Angelo's.